We're back. It is Friday and a rainy one at that, the 12th day of November, 2021. I am Dan Kuntz. Thanks for starting your day with us. Boy, did we have a lot of rain yesterday afternoon and right into the overnight hours. In fact, we set a record for rainfall on Thursday, the 11th, and that was just basically, they go midnight to midnight. Started raining about 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and it didn't really stop raining hard until about 3:30 this morning. So we had that 12-hour window of rain, but at 12 midnight, they considered that the end of the day. And even though we had more rainfall after midnight, up until midnight, 0.49 inches of rain, almost half an inch of rain, which is a new record rainfall for November 11th. And after midnight, we've had an additional 0.18 inches of rain. Wet, very wet. And we're not out of the woods yet. We still got some light rain here in the Wenatchee Valley. We're going to have some passing showers as this hose of atmospheric river just kind of continues to flow right in to the Pacific Northwest. And we're in for a pretty damp and cloudy weekend, but temperatures are going to be quite high, very mild for this time of the year. Of course, it's ushering in not only humid air, but warm air. Again, details are coming up. Passes, all you have to do with today is rain. It's raining hard on the major mountain passes. Your issue there is standing water. Pass report coming up. We got news to get to. Sports. The Wenatchee Wild finally got to play hockey at the Town Toyota Center. The game went into overtime. I'll let you know how that happened. Seattle Kraken, by the way, they didn't do too well last night. Wenatchee Panthers wrapped up their season with an overtime thriller against the Davis Pirates. We have highlights from down in Yakima, and we'll preview the Eastmont Wildcats as they begin their quest for some state hardware. They are in the state playoffs. They take on Eastlake tonight on the road. We'll have a preview of that, and plus everything else that happened in prep volleyball yesterday, and everything else you need to start your day. And our good friend Darci Christoferson paid us a visit a couple of days ago. We check in with Darci now and again, the executive director of the Washington State Apple Blossom Festival. We'll talk about how well the festival auction did and what's next for you potential royalty court candidates. Coming up in the back half of the program. 2.5 minutes after the hour, 40 degrees, light rain. Let's see what's happening out there with our PTZ cameras, courtesy of Sky-Fi. And we look down on Wenatchee Avenue from the roof of the Cascadian, pointing to the south. We have two cameras on the roof. One points to the south, one points to the north. We're looking to the south on a rainy Friday morning. It did come down hard at times last night. Camera number 2. Is that also the Cascadian? That's the other Cascadian camera. We're looking at the Senator George Seller Bridge, the pedestrian pipeline walking bridge, and on over to East Wenatchee. Good morning to Fred Meyer and the Wenatchee Valley Mall. You can make out Macy's there. Good morning to East Wenatchee. We have to use some of these lower cameras. We got the low clouds and the fog. That's what we have to deal with, so the lower cameras take precedent. Camera number 3. There's the Cougar Ridge camera. We've been following this rather interesting story that started about 5:30 this morning, listening to the scanner in the bullpen. Apparently there was some sort of suspicious truck of one kind or another driving around the Stemilk complex in that general area that you see there. It was reported as a suspicious truck. Probably was going places where it wasn't supposed to be. Law enforcement was trying to find the truck. The truck was driving literally, at one point we're told, on the Apple Capitol Loop Trail itself. Well, eventually, we're told now, what we've been able to ascertain, the truck ended up in the Columbia River. It ended up in the Columbia River one way or another, whether it slipped in or was driven in. In any event, the truck is still in the Columbia River. It's about 75 feet off the shoreline. The suspect got out and is safe and is being treated by medical crews. Obviously, law enforcement is involved in this as well. Plus, they got to get the truck out of the river. This is a story we're going to follow throughout the course of the day today. That's what we've been able to ascertain from listening to the scanner. Again, a suspicious truck driving around the Stemilk complex on the river side of it, across the railroad tracks and on trails and whatever, ended up in the Columbia River. We'll have more on this. Interesting. It's been an interesting start to the day. No doubt about that. Okay. 4 minutes after the hour. That atmospheric river is still here. We have the latest satellite image to show for you from NOAA, National Oceanographic and Atmospheric Administration. That's their satellite photo, still being fed up from the Hawaiian Islands and right up in to the Pacific Northwest. It is starting to lose a little bit of steam, but unlike normal systems, because the orientation of this wave is from southwest to northeast, that means we didn't have the rain shadow, which means that we had a lot of rain. Again, before midnight, we had half an inch of rain, and then we've had an additional 0.18 inches of rain since then, but other places, very little rain. Omak only got 0.17 inches of rain yesterday. Moses Lake got almost half an inch. So there was a lot of rain coming down all over the Pacific Northwest. And we're not quite done with this yet. We're still going to have some passing showers today in the north central Washington area, and then eventually we'll start drying out. It's going to start working west to east. So we're going to be drying out as the day progresses, and then we have more rain coming for the weekend and mild temperatures. So that's what's going on. The big fire hose pointed right at us still. All right, from the National Weather Service, here we go. Lots of clouds, rain. Whatever rain we're going to get is going to taper off about 8 or 9 o'clock this morning, but we're still going to see some passing drizzle throughout the course of the day today. Mild. High today of 52. Yesterday's high only 43. Our normal high 45. Will be 7 or 8 degrees warmer than that today. 37 for the overnight low. Our normal overnight low this time of the year is 30. So look how mild it's going to be. We cool down a little bit on Saturday. Not much, but we're still going to see some rain probably Saturday night. Now, the snow level is going to be about 3,500 feet. That's the magic number. So a little bit of light snow in the major mountain passes. In the Wenatchee area, we're going to see some rain on Saturday night into Sunday. Look how warm we're going to get on Sunday, near 60. But lots of clouds and a continuing chance of rain. Will be near 60 on Monday, with lots of clouds and continuing chance of rain. So Saturday, we're going to be kind of between systems. The next system comes through Saturday night, and it'll be hanging around in on Sunday and right on into Monday. Then we cool back down to normal temperatures by the time we get to Wednesday and Thursday. But we're still going to have a pretty wet weekend, and those temperatures are very mild for mid-November. As far as the mountain passes are concerned, your report brought to you by D.A. Davidson, the strength of a trusted partner and personalized solutions to meet your financial needs. No advisories, no restrictions across the board. They're not dealing with snow. They're dealing with rain, lots of rain. Stevens Pass, raining hard. No advisories, no restrictions. Blue Pass, it's raining on US 97. No advisories, no restrictions. Your big issue on Snoqualmie Pass right now is standing water. You don't want to be hydroplaning, and there's, of course, you get those ruts in the roadway, and you could get in some serious trouble there. It's raining, we're told, very hard on I-90 this morning, and it's going to rain all day today. Heavy rain at times on all of the major mountain passes, especially I-90. 1 to 2 inches of rain possible on I-90 and on Stevens Pass, and then they dry out. They'll see a little bit of snow on Saturday night, maybe an inch or so. Then it switches over to rain, and they'll have more rain on Sunday, more rain on Sunday night, more rain on Monday. They are worried about swollen rivers and streams, as you might imagine, as the rain comes down hard. Very warm temperatures, snowmelt big time up in the Cascades. Again, no advisories, no restrictions, none anticipated. Just a lot of wet roadway on US 2, US 97, and on I-90. All right. That's your weather and your past report. 9 minutes after the hour. After a quick 1 minute break, we'll have your news for you on this Friday. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel.
Kids are resilient. I just love their energy. They bounce back so quickly. I love the stories they tell. I love just their charisma, their character. I love to see that subtle smile that you pull out of a kid, you know, when you start talking with them about something they really like. I just love what I do, and I can't imagine I would be as happy doing anything else.
Some light drizzle, 40 degrees in downtown Wenatchee. We're going to have very mild weather today. Will slowly, gradually dry out We'll have a fairly dry Saturday with some sun breaks Saturday night. The second band of rain comes in. We'll have rain Saturday night, most of the day on Sunday. Very mild temperatures, near record high temperatures possible on Sunday and Monday. After a year off because of the COVID-19 pandemic, the traditional Veterans Day Parade returned to the Wenatchee Valley yesterday morning. A large crowd, a lot of people gathered along the parade route, especially at Memorial Park, to honor our area veterans. And here's some sights and sounds of yesterday morning. Big crowd, very big crowd. Nice turnout. In southwestern Cashmere, a house fire required a 4-agency response on Wednesday because of a lack of nearby fire hydrants. There's the footage there. Phil Mosier with the Chelan County Fire Department up there in Cashmere says the fire started in the upper apartment of a subdivided 2-story house in the 6100 block of Pioneer Drive. Nobody was home in either apartment when the fire was reported. This was about 12:40 in the afternoon on Wednesday. Mosier said it took about a half an hour to control the blaze, leaving fire and smoke damage throughout the upper story, water damage down below. Water tenders and other vehicles from 3 nearby fire districts also arrived to make sure there was enough water on hand. The cause of the fire is under investigation. A new affordable housing development is being planned for the Entiat area. A $15.1 million tax credit deal is expected to pave the way for Mountain View family housing. It's a 12-building affordable community on the site of a former orchard. In Entiat, the development will eventually include 65 affordable homes, 52 of which will be set aside specifically for local farm workers. Rents will range from $376 for a 1-bedroom apartment to $991 for a 4-bedroom for residents earning a maximum of 30, 40, or 50% of the area's median income. Even on Veterans Day, it can be hard for ex-service members to find just the right resources. Sarah Simonson is used to serve her country. She was in the Air Force, and now she's the Veterans Service Officer for Douglas County, where she's helped at least 1,000 formerly enlisted people. And she had a chance to sit down with her very own Jefferson Robbins to talk about the needs of local veterans and what her office does to assist.
Now, you came into the VSO position after a military service of your own. Can you tell me about your military service?
Yes, I served January 99 to December 2004 in the Air Force. At first, I was a security forces patrolman, so I was patrol cars and gate guard duty and armory and things along those lines. I had the opportunity to cross-train into financial management and found out that I liked desk jobs a lot better.
Tell me about Douglas County Veterans Services and the kind of things that you're able to do for veterans.
One of the main things that I have to do is manage the Douglas County Veterans Relief Funds. So there's a portion of the home taxes that go into a fund. That fund is specifically set aside to help veterans in need. Those Veterans Relief Funds can help with a veteran who has an unexpected medical bill or needs a small vehicle repair to get to medical appointments or a job. Help with electricity or gas, anything. If a veteran finds themselves in a rough situation and just kind of needs a little help out of it, that's what those veteran relief funds are for. The other main part of my job is helping veterans get connected with federal benefits through the VA, either the VA healthcare system, VA benefit system, or survivors of veterans applying for burial reimbursement.
How many veterans are you working with in Douglas County? Whether that be a number of people who seek your help or people you're just aware of who are veterans in Douglas County?
Well, according to my metrics, the things that I've been able to keep track of, since January 2019, I have assisted at least 1,000 veterans. And those are just the ones that I've actually done casework for. That's not answering the phone and answering questions or talking with people or going to events to help with information. The veteran population in Douglas County, last I knew, was about 15% of the people living in Douglas County are veterans, and I would consider that a rather large percentage of people in that area. Not all of them seek help. Not all of them attempt to get benefits from the VA, either through healthcare or benefits along those lines. And a lot of them don't even understand what's available for them. So that's something else that I try to do in my office, is let people know that not only my office exists, but as a veteran, there are certain things you're eligible for.
And finally this morning, the Chelan County PUD needs to build more substations to accommodate new homes and new businesses coming to Chelan County. And one way to pay for them may be through something called a system impact fee. Now, the utility district is considering adding the one-time fee when it creates connections for new customers. It could add about $1,200 to the cost of some new connections and generate about $1 million annually based on current growth factors. You can comment on the proposal in a virtual open house that the PUD is running right now on its website. It goes through November 19th, chelanpud.org/funding. Growth. That's what's making headlines in 17 minutes. After the hour, we got another newscast coming your way at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and 10 o'clock with Jefferson, Eric, and myself. And with a preview, here's Jefferson Robbins.
Good morning, Dan. It is Friday, at least according to this newscast I have here in my hand. That means it's the last day before Grant Olson will be back here in the anchor's chair. He's back from vacation on Monday. I cannot wait. Coming up tonight, we'll be talking with our 8th District Congresswoman about the huge infrastructure bill that just passed and the chances for the even huger Build Back Better Act, which may face a vote in Congress next week. That's just one of the many stories that we are following, along with local weather, sports with Eric Granstrom. All that happens tonight at 5, 6, and 10 p.m. on the NCW Life Evening News. I'll see you tonight, Dan.
You know it. And don't forget, we'd love to hear from you. There's any number of ways you can do it. Try to make it as easy as possible. The tools in the toolbox are right below there. You can go to our Facebook page and use the Facebook Messenger app. You can email us directly, news@ncwlife.com, or go to our homepage, ncwlife.com, and click on the icon. You can't miss it. When we come back, sports. The Wenatchee Wild finally got to play a home game for the first time in over 600 days. We got some highlights for you there. The Seattle Kraken, not so much. High school football playoffs get underway tonight, plus we'll have the results of high school volleyball. The state tournaments are underway for the small schools. All things sports related. Coming up in 1 minute, you're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel. When you call Dick's Heating and Air Conditioning, you're calling on 35 plus years of experience in the Wenatchee Valley. Spending extra time in your home, you may have discovered an unwanted aroma. Stinky feet, pets, who knows what. Call Dick's today about installing their Train Clean Effects electronic air cleaner or a Rheem Halo ultraviolet air purifier. Either way, the air quality in your home will be improved. Proudly servicing all of North Central Washington, call 884-6444 today.
Highlander Golf Course and Grill, located in East Wenatchee, offers terrific views and challenging play for golfers at every skill level. From the golf course to the grill, you don't need to be a member to dine in style and play golf too. Highlander's well-groomed fairways and greens keep it difficult, yet friendly for your regular rounds of golf or a new destination for you and your out-of-town friends. Contact the Highlander Pro Shop today to schedule your tee time, outing, or tournament. Open 7 days a week, where everyone is welcome to play and eat.
"20 minutes after the hour, hockey finally returned to the Town Toyota Center last night." Oh, you want to go ahead and play that, Uriah? Now, the Wild raced out to a quick 2-0 lead on goals by Anthony Caffarelli and Broderick Williams in the first period. West Kelowna came storming right back. They had 4 unanswered goals in the second period. Owen Bone and Garrett Skrzlowski tied it up in the third to send it into overtime, and that's where the Warriors' Felix Trudeau won it. 38 seconds into overtime when they play 3-on-3 hockey. The Wild and Warriors will play again tonight at the Town Toyota Center. They'll drop the puck at 7:05. Things didn't go so well for the other team. The Seattle Kraken got beat by Anaheim and beat good 7-4. Seattle fell behind early, even though Jaden Schwartz tied it in the second. The Ducks kept scoring goals all night long for the victory. Also scoring for the Kraken, Jordan Eberle, and 2 by Jared McCann. The Kraken will host Minnesota tomorrow night at 7 o'clock on Root Sports. All right, to the Les Schwab scoreboard. State volleyball play at the Sundome. In Yakima, Manson won twice. They're now in the semifinals of the State 2B tournament. The Trojans sweeping 3 sets from Tri-Cities Prep yesterday morning. Then they won a dogfight in the afternoon against Goldendale. They lost the first set 25-15, but they won the second 25-19, lost the third 15-25, won the fourth 25-19. Then it went to a fifth set, Trojans winning that one 15-12. Okanagan went 1-1 on the day, so they're in the losers bracket now. They beat Turtle Lake in 4 sets to open play, but then they lost in straight sets to number 1 LaConner. And then Okanagan, they have the tough task of turning around and playing this morning at 8 o'clock against Goldendale. It's a loser-out match. Manson will take on LaConner in the semifinals at 9:45. Pateras had their season come to an end with a straight set loss to Shoreline Christian yesterday morning. Waterville-Mansfield lost their first match to Nia Bay. The late match was delayed because of a leak in the roof of the Sundome. So they had to move it to another court. They finished playing after 11 o'clock last night, and they lost to Republic in a loser-out match 3-1. The Chelan Goats begin their quest for a second consecutive State 1A volleyball championship today. 3:15 at the Sundome. Win or lose, Chelan will face either Lakeside or College Place tonight at 9:45. The Wenatchee Panthers had their season come to a dramatic end last night down at Zeffel Stadium in Yakima. It was raining hard. They went to double overtime. Davis wins 25-24. Here are highlights from the NFHS network. Wenatchee tied it with 19 seconds left on a field goal by Alex Sanchez, a 35-yarder. In overtime, 2 touchdowns by Camden Lloydhammer, but it wasn't enough. Davis, as you just saw, scored a touchdown and then a 2-point conversion to win it in double overtime. Eastmont and Moses Lake representing the Big Nine in the first round of the State 4A playoffs tonight. The Chiefs are in Spokane to take on Gonzaga Prep. Eastmont is south of Sammamish to take on Eastlake. Coach Michael Don says his team measures up a little better than the last 2 Eastmont teams that went to the state playoffs.
We have a different feeling this year with our guys just through practices. I feel like, the last couple times we've been in the state playoffs, we've tried to, talk to our kids about, hey, we go out and compete. You never know. We just got to play. But we were physically outmatched, a couple times where they were just, bigger, stronger. We had a few kids out here and there, and, we just didn't, weren't able to compete at the highest of levels in those games. And this year kind of got a different vibe in practice. Our kids truly believe they got a shot, and they're excited to go out there and compete and just put their best foot forward. And we're excited as a coaching staff.
Eastmont is the 15th seed in the tournament. Eastlake is the 2nd seed in the tournament. They are undefeated. They're 10-0, and Coach Don says they got big guys all over the place.
Don't get me wrong. They're really good. They're 10-0 for a reason. They've beaten good teams. But, they're not just blowing the doors off everybody. And so, we feel like we can go out and compete and do some things. And but they've got some big, strong kids. They're fundamentally sound. They're very senior heavy. I don't think I've seen a sophomore touch the field in a close game. They play a lot of old guys, mostly seniors. They've got some good-looking kids. I mean, they've got 3 200-pound wide receivers, and they've got, some big backs, and their offensive linemen are all tall and long. They've got 6'5" kids, and looking at their roster, they have 17 kids 6'3" or taller, and we don't. They just got some long bodies, and they look the part on film, and so, we're just looking at going out and doing what we do. We got to be fundamentally sound. We got to fire off the ball. We got strong kids who have worked hard in the weight room, and we just got to do what we do well and not worry about what they're going to do.
Eastmont had 14 players make the all Big Nine team. Take a look. They were recognized as the offensive line of the year. The offensive lineman of the year is Tony Ortega. The defensive MVP, Logan Schneider. Schneider, unfortunately, is out. He had hand surgery last week, but Coach Don says his presence is still being felt.
Even though he can't play and he can't compete, he's found ways to fill that void for himself. I talked to him the other day, and he's like, "How you feeling?" And he goes, "It's tough, but he goes, I'm trying to channel it in other ways." He's helping run scout huddles. He's helping guys make sure they're lined up right, doing the right thing. He's coaching linebackers, and he's invaluable. Whether he's on the field or not, he's proving his leadership, and he's doing all those other things.
So they lose Logan Schneider, but they get their running back back. Senior running back Corbin Keys just missed the last 7 games with a knee injury. Keys says he hated to be out, but he's excited to be back in.
It has been so frustrating. Football's my first love. Always been out here growing up, and with all my boys out here, it's been really hard. It feels amazing to be here for playoffs, being with my boys. They worked their butts off all year, and I just want to come out here, prove that I'm still here. Worked my butt off all my high school career, so good to be out here with them.
A lot of rain in the forecast for tonight's game, but Coach Michael Don says that shouldn't really make much of a difference.
Absolutely nothing. We just got to take care of the ball. Last game they had that was really rainy, they had a giant monsoon. I think they had like 3 inches of rain in a night when they played Bothell, and it was a wild game. They turned 2 Bothell fumbles into touchdowns, and they ran a punt back for a touchdown, and that was it. That was the 21 points. It was a hard game to come by offense. And, it was 2 good teams. The difference was Bothell turned it over 4 or 5 times, and Eastlake did not. They were able to get back the ball when they dropped it or muffed it or did things, and Bothell lost it. And so, it was a heck of a physical football game, and we're hoping that that's what we get. We're going to get rain, and we need to go out, play physical football, and take care of the ball. It's kind of been one of the big differences this year for us is we've probably turned it over more than we have in a long time, and we haven't taken it away as well until the West Valley game as we have in the past. And, is something that we got to look at and see what did we do differently this year, what didn't we do that we've done in the past and taking care of the ball. But if we can take care of the ball and force turnovers, it should be a great opportunity for us.
Eastmont at Eastlake, 7 o'clock kickoff tonight. Moses Lake and Gonzaga Prep in Spokane also kicks off at 7 o'clock tonight. OMAC will have a 7 o'clock kickoff tonight for their first round of the State 1A football playoffs. The Pioneers are at Union in Meade to take on Lakeside out of 9 Mile Falls. Brewster plays at Columbia Burbank, south of the Tri-Cities, in the first round of the State 2B playoffs. They kick it off tonight at 6 o'clock. The winner of that game will take on Okanagan in the second round next Friday or Saturday. Waterville Mansfield has a date at South Bend High School tomorrow afternoon against NaSalle. First round State 1B football game kicks off at 1 o'clock, and Libertyville will host Cusick in the first round game tomorrow afternoon at 3 o'clock. Everybody into the pool. It's the biggin. Eastmont, Wenatchee, Moses Lake, and Cashmere, divers and swimmers, Federal Way for the state swim and dive meet is this weekend at the Federal Way Aquatic Center. It's today and tomorrow. Soccer, Tenasket steps into the quarterfinals of the State 1B, 2B girls soccer tournament tomorrow. The Tigers will take on number 2 seed Kalama on their home turf tomorrow at noon. Top seeded Okanagan will take on Adna tomorrow at 1 o'clock at Lee Boffalo Field at the Apple Bowl. The college football weekend for Washington teams gets underway at 1 o'clock tomorrow in Ellensburg. Central will host Simon Fraser. The Huskies are at home against Arizona State. 4 o'clock on FS1. Eastern Washington is at UC Davis. 5 o'clock ESPN Plus. Washington State will try to upset number 3 Oregon. That's at Autzen Stadium, 7:30 tomorrow night on ESPN. And all indications are that both Seattle and Green Bay will have their starting quarterbacks at Lambeau Field. Russell Wilson has successfully practiced all week long. He says he's good to go. Aaron Rodgers, of course, missed a game with COVID. So we'll see what happens. It's Seattle and Green Bay, Sunday, 1:25 on the Columbia Broadcasting System. And those are just some of the games that people are playing. 31 minutes after the hour, happy National French Dip Day today. It's called French dip. It is not French in origin. The French part of French dip it was French bread. You need to have dense bread to properly prepare and consume French dip because, of course, you're dipping the bread and the meat in the au jus sauce. And if you have fluffy bread, it just kind of becomes this globby glunk. A number of Los Angeles restaurants claim to be the birthplace of the French dip sandwich. Nobody really knows the true story. The old story was that there was a guy who said, "Hey, my roast beef sandwich the bread is stale," and so they whipped up a little gravy and he dipped it into the gravy to soften up the bread, and he said, "Hey, this is pretty good." French dip is easy to make, super easy to make, very tasteful. Just enjoy it. It's a good wintertime meal. So enjoy it. That does look good, doesn't it? National French Dip Day today. One of my favorite culinary delights. 33 minutes after the hour. Today in history. Of course, Major League Baseball had a problem. The Black Sox scandal, the integrity of the game. Can't have guys gambling on the game. So the idea of a commissioner, an all-encompassing person who was in charge of baseball. No sport at any level, anywhere, ever had a commissioner. The very first commissioner in any sport got the job 101 years ago today, Kennesaw Mountain Landis, in reaction to the Black Sox scandal. And now all major leagues and minor leagues and all sports and colleges and you name it, they all have commissioners in charge of the day-to-day operations. But the very first one was Kennesaw Mountain Landis, elected by the owners of Major League Baseball to take over the sport 101 years ago today. November 12th, 1928, the English ocean liner, the SS Vestris, sinks about 200 miles off of Hampton Roads, Virginia. Yeah, the Vestris sinks. 110 passengers died, almost all of them women and children. As soon as the crew realized that the ship was going to flounder and sink, the crew got into the lifeboats. The women and children were left behind to die. Women and children first didn't happen. On this date, 93 years ago today. Ellis Island ceased operations on this date 67 years ago today, November 12, 1954. Over 12 million immigrants came through Ellis Island to assimilate themselves into the American bloodstream. Ellis Island, after 62 years of operation, closed their doors. The odds are pretty good you're related to somebody who came through Ellis Island. 51 years ago today, still one of my favorite stories. On November 9th, 1970, this ginormous 40-foot-long, 8-ton sperm whale washed up on the beaches at Florence, Oregon, which is right at Central Oregon, about halfway between Washington and California. Florence, Oregon, big, huge sperm whale washes up in the overnight hours. They wake up in the morning of November 9th to find this thing, this giant whale, and it became a tourist attraction. Of course, the Oregon coast, they're determined on, they need tourists. And in November, nobody goes to the Oregon coast. It's cold and rainy and wet. But this giant sperm whale is on the beach, so the tourists came, and all the locals went, "This is great, man, we're making money." That was on November 9th. And on November 10th, the more tourists came. And then on November 11th, it starts to stink. And finally, they say, "We got to get rid of this thing." So what do they decide to do? Well, they got together with the Navy, the authorities did, and they said, "Well, how about if we dig a big hole underneath the whale, put a bunch of dynamite in it? If we blow the whale up into little bitty pieces, then all the scavengers that would come and eat the whale normally would come and dispense with the whale." Enjoy the footage.
All right, Fred, you can take your hands out of your ears. Here comes pieces of mud.
Our camera stopped rolling immediately after the blast. The humor of the entire situation suddenly gave way to a run for survival as huge chunks of whale blubber fell everywhere. Pieces of meat passed high over our heads while others were falling at our feet. The dunes were rapidly evacuated as spectators escaped both the falling debris and the overwhelming smell. A parked car over a quarter of a mile from the blast site was the target of one large chunk. The passenger compartment literally smashed. Fortunately, no human was hit as badly as the car. However, everyone on the scene was covered with small particles of dead whale.
Oh. How do you explain that to your insurance company? What? A hunk of whale blubber fell on your station wagon? The exploding whale incident, it still cracks me up. They don't do that anymore. If the whale is too big, they either bury it or they drag it to a place where there's a lot of scavengers who can eat it. The famous exploding whale incident 51 years ago today. And on a much different note, this is the 20th anniversary of the last time Ringo, Paul, and George got to see each other, November 12th, 2001. The three surviving members of the Beatles, Paul McCartney, Ringo Starr, and George Harrison, met in George Harrison's hotel room in New York City for lunch and reminisces. George was in the terminal stages of lung cancer. He would die 2 weeks later, but they got to see each other one last time. Birthdays. Booker T. Jones, leader of Booker T and the MGs, one of the greatest musicians this country has ever produced. He's good. We love Booker T. Jones. He is 77 years old today. Al Michaels, 77 years old today. Of course, a long association with ABC. Now he does Sunday Night Football, of course, on NBC with Chris Collinsworth, famous for his call, The Miracle on Ice, in 1980. Al Michaels is also 77 years old today. Neil Young, twice inductee into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, one of my favorites. Neil Young, 76 years old today. Nadia Comaneci, the famous Romanian gymnast who now lives in the United States, 5-time Olympic gold medalist, the first gymnast ever to score a perfect 10 in Olympic competition. Nadia Comaneci is 60 years old today. And Anne Hathaway, who makes a lot of money making really good movies, and she's got an Academy Award. Anne Hathaway, 39 years old today. Quick break. Mike McNally's got an opinion. Then about once a month we visit with Darci Christoferson from the Washington State Apple Blossom Festival, and today is no different. She's coming up too. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Live channel. ColorFX has moved their shop to a larger location to expand their services, including adding in a state-of-the-art large format printer. They got it. You need banners? They got them. You need vinyl decals for your cars, trucks, vans, or trailers in just about any size? Yeah, they got it. ColorFX has also been providing fun swag and clothing for local churches and high schools around our valley for decades. Support your local print shop. Call ColorFX in Cashmere today.
At Wenatchee Power Sports, we proudly offer the Polaris product line. Polaris builds the highest quality side-by-side in the industry, with off-road capability that's second to none. The Polaris pre-order program allows customers to purchase the vehicle they want without having to select from limited dealer inventory. The Wenatchee Valley has year-round access to some of the best ORV trails in the Northwest. Start your adventure here at Wenatchee Power Sports.
Hi folks, welcome to Save Mart. How can we help you today?
We're looking for a recliner.
Okay, right this way. Go ahead and move this chafe on the other side. You can lift this up. Time warranty.
Great, I want that one. I would like that one.
That's a great choice.
And I want this one as well.
Okay.
And I definitely want this one.
Ooh. You'll find it at Save Mart. Full service at a low, low price.
Club Crow Bar and Grill in Cashmere is your place for famous blues, brews, and barbecue. We are your one-stop bar and grill, serving breakfast, lunch, and dinner 7 days a week. Hi, Justin here, owner of Club Crow Bar and Grill in Cashmere. Looking for a fun night out? Join us at Club Crow. We have live bands to rock the night away, comedy to make you laugh, and if that's not enough, we have poker every Monday and Wednesday night. Club Crow in Cashmere has it all. Check out our Facebook event page for dates and times. Club Crow Bar and Grill in Cashmere, the coolest place in town.
Hey, this is Mike Mad Dog McNally, and everybody's entitled to my opinion. Now, over the past few years, I've heard increasing criticism of a company we know as Goodwill. Now, this criticism runs like this. Goodwill's paying nothing for the merchandise that they retail. They pay their employees a pittance and make tons of money in a despicable manner. Now, I can't believe this criticism of whoever this guy is. Whoever the guy is who came up with the idea about Goodwill, he came up with a very creative business plan, offers entry-level work experience to folks who might not get a job anywhere else, offers good prices for the stuff you need, and gives you and I the opportunity to get rid of your junk and get a tax write-off. And I kind of think the criticism of this guy is prompted more by jealousy than any justifiable social outrage. And by the way, the people I've spoken to who work for Goodwill, they like their jobs. This is Mike Mad Dog McNally, and that's my opinion.
If you are looking for dependable car service and repair, visit the good guys at Quick Lube and Tune. They've been keeping cars and trucks in the Wenatchee Valley running smooth for 35 years. Quick Lube and Tune is your hometown shop for a 10-minute oil change, complete tune-ups, alignments, brakes, mufflers, air conditioning service, and more. Get more life out of your vehicle by bringing it to the local guys you can trust at Quick Lube and Tune on South Wenatchee Avenue.
When it comes to finding a memory care community, you want the very best. You want to know that your loved one is safe and receiving compassionate care in a loving environment. Fieldstone Memory Care is an innovative assisted living community designed for those with Alzheimer's, dementia, and Parkinson's disease. You'll find a community specifically designed to enrich residents' lives. The Fieldstone team is here to help you navigate the important decisions you face when a loved one has dementia or Alzheimer's. Welcome home to Fieldstone.
Counterplay inside, picking his way back to the 10, to the 5, High school sports is back, and NCW Life Channel's got you covered. Tune in for football, girls soccer, and volleyball right here. A huge thank you to our sponsors, Les Schwab Tires, One Way Construction, and Save Mart. Follow all the action of high school sports on your local TV station, the NCW Life Channel. 14, they come back.
Welcome back to Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Periodically, Darci Christoferson, the administrator of the Washington State Apple Blossom Festival, pays us a visit, and for good reason, because we love her and we love it. And it's time to talk about, well, we have a lot of things to talk about. Specifically, we'll get into the royalty selection pageant. Senior girls, pay attention. But first of all, making her very first appearance on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Give it up for Darci Christoferson. There, hey, they love you. They love you. They love you. Welcome to the show, first timer.
Thank you.
The royalties, yeah, I bet you are. The royalty selection auction, emceed by Pat and Adele. Massive success, over $100,000 raised. Is that what I'm told?
Yes. It was just an amazing night. You know, it was a 70s theme. So whenever you do a theme, it's always super fun. So that made the excitement kind of happen. And then people just wanted to spend money. We had less people than we've ever had. And they were just excited, I think, to be out and to do something fun and contribute to the festival. So a big thank you to them, but also we had a lot of people that were unable to come that still donated money.
Oh, cool.
So that was really cool too, that people just still had it in their heart to give. And yes, we grossed over $100,000, so that will go into next year's festival. And everybody's saying we need to make the beer garden bigger.
Yeah, I didn't need to make the beer garden bigger. Thank you very much.
We already did last year, so
Yeah.
but that's what everybody's asking. Are you going to make the beer garden bigger?
So attendance down, but revenue's up. That's kind of that's a nice problem to have, I guess.
It is. It's really weird, but I think it's people that were there wanted to be there. They wanted to spend money and give back. So I think that worked out. I keep on saying this, that we had such an amazing festival, and now we've had such an amazing auction. And I do believe a lot of it is because of COVID. People want to give more. They want stuff to continue happening. So it's going to be really hard for me to budget for next year because, hopefully it'll all be gone and we won't have to worry about that. But anyway.
It speaks highly of the festival and the sponsors especially, because a lot of festivals didn't happen at all or are completely imploding in many respects. All of your sponsors, big, small, and otherwise, they stuck with you through COVID. All of them.
They really did, and it's really interesting. I was at a convention last week.
You got a plaque, if I remember correctly.
I did, yes, we did. It was the Washington Festival and Events Association, and we got nominated for Best Event, and we were the best event in Central Washington. But what's interesting is a lot of these organizations are ran by their cities, or they get grants, or they are a chamber, and the chamber puts on the event funded by the city or by grants. And we were one of the only festivals that is ran by sponsors and our community dollars. Probably, maybe there were like 5. So that was really interesting for me to see. I just never realized that so many festivals are funded by their city, which sometimes isn't a great thing, because you're the first one that's going to lose your funding when the city make certain decisions. So again, it was just kind of a pride moment, like, okay, we do got a good thing going. We have a great thing going, and it was pretty great having so many people tell us that.
Well, it was a number of. How long has it been? 25 years since it became a standalone entity and not the Chambers event, the Apple.
Yeah, it was my first year, so it's been almost 30.
Almost 30 years. And as Darcy mentioned before, have other festivals gotten a hold of you and say, we're funded by a grant from the city or the Chamber of Commerce or whatever, and you guys aren't. You're a standalone festival, and it seems to work better than it used to. Have other festivals contacted you and say, how do you do it? Because we need a shot in the arm, figuratively and literally, I suppose?
Yeah, they have. But it's really so hard to explain to people, because what we have, you just can't make it happen. The festival was the way it was before I ever came along. I mean, it's always been this way. It's always been a pride thing, and you just can't create that. That's just something that our community is proud of, and they want it to continue. So it's really hard to teach that to another organization.
I like that. It's a pride thing.
Yeah, it just is.
That's
that's what happened to me this week was, how do you do this? I mean, how do you get that? How do you do this? And I'm like, well, I just call up Apple Valley Pumping and they get porta potties for me, where, it's such a huge production for so many of these festivals on the other side of the mountains to get anything from anybody. It was just very interesting. How do you get your generators? Well, I call Star Rentals and
they get bring us generators. That's how that works.
It just was so. How does your electricity work? Well, I fill out an L&I permit, and then the city does it for me. Your city does it for you. I mean, it was just so humbling and interesting and awesome that our community just loves this festival so much.
Darcy was the 1985 Apple Blossom Queen, which means we're going to transition to the 2022 Apple Blossom Queen. You're out there somewhere. That process begins very soon.
Yes.
Take it from there, Darcy.
Yeah, it's starting really now. So right now you can go to our website at appleblossom.org, and you can look at the royalty manual. You can actually fill out your application. There's a slideshow there for you on all the outfits or whatever that you're going to need for the top 10 process. And then we have some testimonials from some past royalty members and top 10 members that are really great. So I just really encourage parents and senior girls to go online and look at all this stuff and then start writing down questions. Because that mandatory meeting on December 7th can be a little bit overwhelming if you're not prepared. Because we go over a lot of stuff. We basically go over the prelims, we go over the top 10, and we do go over the royalty schedule. So I really encourage people to go online and just take a look at it and start asking questions. Do you think that this is something that you really want to do? Are you going to be able to take the time to do this? Because even if you fill out an application before the mandatory meeting, you can still drop your application if you feel that you don't want to run.
Mm-hmm. And that happens.
It does happen. It does happen.
And talk to somebody who, you can look at the testimonials online.
Yes.
In fact, I'm there right now. Or you can talk to somebody who ran.
Yes.
They'll tell you too.
I always encourage girls to text or do whatever you do with social media to girls that have ran before. They'll be very honest with you. And it is something that you think that you can never do, and they'll tell you that. I never thought in a million years that I could get up and give a speech like this, but they are so happy that they did it, so that's what they'll probably end up telling you. But it is nice if you have a friend that was in the top 10 or ran and didn't even continue in the top 10, talk to them. See if it's something that you would want to do, for sure.
I have never, ever, ever spoken to anybody who made top 10 or the top 3 who said, boy, I wish I hadn't done it.
Right.
Never. And I know a lot of them.
Yeah.
So the important dates, the mandatory meeting is, and it is mandatory.
It is mandatory.
You can't get out of it. If you want to be an Apple Blossom Royal Court, you have to go to the one of the meetings.
And we will not be doing any Zooming.
Okay.
So it will be in person. The room is big enough, and if you want to wear a mask, you're more than welcome to do so. But the times are 12, 4 p.m., and 6 p.m. at the Wenatchee Convention Center. They're only 1-hour meetings, and you don't have to attend the same meeting as your parent or guardian. So if your parent or guardian comes to the noon meeting and you come to the 4 o'clock meeting, that's totally fine.
It's Tuesday, December 7th. We probably should mention the date.
Oh, did I not
Tuesday,
mention
December
that? I'm
7th.
sorry.
We got that in there. And that begins the process. And then you'll really make... So you go to the mandatory meeting because you're curious.
Right.
You're under no obligation to make a commitment there and then. At what point does the bell ring and you have to decide whether you're going to run or not?
You have to have the application in by 3 o'clock. Is it noon on Friday, next Friday.
So
December 10th?
10th, something
yes,
like that. Yeah.
Yes. So you have to have your application turned in. And the application is so easy.
Mm-hmm.
Once you make the top 10, then you have other information that you need to fill out. So we just make that application pretty simple, just because we don't want to have it too difficult for you just for this first process. But you do have to have a bio. So we do, again, that's something great for you to go online and take a look at and see. It's kind of like a resume of what you've done from your freshman year to your senior year.
December 7th, Tuesday, December 7th is the mandatory meetings. And again, mom and dad or guardian or the kid does not have to go to the same meeting. One can go one go to the other. Candidate reception on the 24th. The top 10 speeches. We're going to have we're doing some of this on our Facebook page, right? Fill in the blanks on some of these.
Yes. So actually, it's not a candidate's reception anymore. It is a get to know you.
Get to know you, right.
So that is a judging process now. We did that last year because of COVID, because all the judging is not taking place in the schools. So the get to know you is 20% of the vote from 5 out-of-town judges. And then the next day will be, we call it speech day, and that's when you'll be giving your 2 to 3 minute speech in front of the same 5 out-of-town judges, and that's 80% of the vote. And all of that will be taking place at the Performing Arts Center, and it will be open to the public, and then it will be also streamed on Facebook on NCW Live.
And the pageant itself will be returning to the Numerica Performing Arts Center. It seemed to work out really good last year. So
we loved working at the PAC, and I'm really glad that we've made the decision to have it there because we are still having issues with the auditorium and not being able to use the high school. So we're excited to have the PAC. We're waiting to announce ticket sales, which we probably won't even do till January like we used to do. And that will be actually broadcast live on NCW Live.
One last thing before we cut you loose, because we're running out of time. It's the holiday season, as Andy Williams once sang. So if you want to get that special somebody, a little Apple Blossom action, you made it easier than ever. You can go online, you can go by the office. There's any number of ways to do it. You got a lot of stuff here at the store.
We have tons of stuff. We totally redid all of our clothing line or merchandise line. And you can go to appleblossom.org, click on merchandise, festival merchandise, or store, and then click on festival merchandise. and you'll see we have all kinds of Wenatchee items, and then we also have apple blossom items. You can either have the item shipped to your home, there'll be a shipping fee, or to someone that you want to send it to, or you can have it shipped to the festival office, and then you just come and get it, and it's free shipping. But there's a lot of cool stuff. It either is Wenatchee or apple blossom, but we try to change things up a little bit. So, and we actually are unveiling our art print today, and we will be doing a puzzle of our art print, a 500-piece puzzle. So.
Wow,
It'll be
that's
really
cool.
cool. That's a great gift-giving idea.
There's nothing like going on vacation, be it Hawaii, Mexico, or California, and you're walking down the street and there's somebody with an apple blossom shirt on, because it happens.
I love that.
And they're usually natives who are
Yes.
snowbirding, or you just, that's Bob Smith over there, right?
Yeah.
Because he's wearing an apple blossom shirt.
50% of our online sales are from people that don't live in Wenatchee.
There you go.
Isn't that crazy? I mean, I just think that's so cool that there's so many people that buy that don't live here because they, again, love our community so much. And
It's a pride thing.
it is a pride thing.
It's a pride thing. That's exactly
That's
what
a
it is.
theme. It's a pride thing.
I get to see you again before the
I'll be
holidays?
back November 30th.
Good.
Yep.
November 30th. Well, I'm circling it right now. I don't have a pen.
Write it down.
Don't have a pen.
You don't
I'll see. I have a pen. Now I don't have a paper.
But you don't have a piece of paper.
Good. So
Write it on
last
your
day of
hand.
November, you're here, right?
I'm here.
Okay.
I will be here.
Making her very first appearance in Wake Up Wenatchee Valley, Festival Administrator Darci Christoferson, and congratulations, Grandma, again.
Thank you. Yes.
That's
yes.
number 3.
Number 3. 3 granddaughters.
Danny, say bye-bye. Darcy, say bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
We'll be back.
Direct from Las Vegas, Holiday Dreams, a spectacular holiday cirque. Experience holograms, interactive lasers, projection mapping, and a cast of international cirque performers on one stage. Experience the futuristic holiday show everyone's talking about. Make new memories with your family this holiday season and experience Holiday Dreams, a spectacular holiday show. Live in concert.
Hello, North Central Washington. I'm Dave Tosh, Executive Director, Wenatchee Valley Senior Activity Center, and I'm excited to announce a new variety show entitled Vibrant Living, brought to you by the Senior Center. And I think you'll find it educational, informative, and a lot of fun. Join us for the new program, Vibrant Living.
Ever wonder what it takes for wild birds to survive the longer, colder nights of winter? They can't just turn up the thermostat or throw on an extra blanket. Winter Super Blend from Wild Birds Unlimited provides a super boost of energy and fat, essential for winter survival. Stop by our store to learn how you can help the birds this season and how you can attract more beautiful birds to your yard. Wild Birds Unlimited. More birds, more joy.
Who are you talking to? I told you, knock it off!
End the cycle. Call SAGE, Safety, Advocacy, Growth, and Empowerment. Get private, anonymous counseling. Learn how SAGE can help you. Receive legal assistance and protection. SAGE also offers a safe place for you and your children. Of course, a hug from Hank always helps. SAGE can help you move on with your life. Call SAGE today.
Yeah, there they are, our two pigeon friends, Laurel and Hardy. Throw that back up there, will you, Uriah? Let's say hi to Laurel and Hardy. We named them yesterday. They're hanging around on the roof of the Cascadian. You want to throw that up again? Here they are. Oh, no, that's the weather. Okay, I'll do the weather then. Still not done with the rain yet. In case you joined us, we set a new record for rainfall on November 11th, and it all happened between 3 o'clock and midnight. And midnight is the demarcation line. Of course, it rained heavily past midnight, but officially on November 11th yesterday, we had 0.49 inches of rain, almost half an inch of rain, all of that coming down between 3 p.m. and midnight. And since midnight, we've had an additional almost quarter inch of rain. So you add it all up, we had almost 3/4 of an inch of rain between about 3 o'clock yesterday afternoon until about 4 o'clock this morning. Now, we're already starting to dry out, but we'll still see some passing rain showers. throughout the course of this Friday. Lots of clouds and a high of 52. That's above normal. Our normal high this time of the year is about 45. 37 for the overnight low tonight. That's mild. Then look how warm we're going to get. We'll be between systems on Saturday. Saturday we'll see some sunshine and a little bit cooler, about 51. And then the next round of rain comes in Saturday night. It'll rain Saturday night into Sunday, and then intermittent rain off and on Sunday and on into Monday. Look how warm we're going to be. We're going to be kissing 60 degrees on Sunday and Monday. That is mild for the middle of November. We cool down a little bit on Tuesday, and then we're back to November-ish weather by the middle of next week. And that is it for us. Have a great weekend. Bye, Laurel and Hardy.